Hi there, this is Mr. Dunaway. Welcome to Chapter 8, Section 4. We're going to talk about solving more two-step equations. They get a little bit more complicated here, though, really, as we go. Um, and what I want to do is begin with putting your name here on your paper and the date as well. And let's just jump right into it. I'm going to begin with just giving you three basic rules that we'll be following the next few lessons to keep these in mind. And in doing that, hopefully we'll be able to solve all kinds of equations, even those that are bigger than two-step equation. So let's get going with things. Number one, it says get rid of. Okay, in the first line there, we want to write parentheses. Get rid of parentheses using the distributive property. Okay, well, the distributive property, you might remember, hopefully, is like this. If you have a number multiplied by a parenthesis there, which what we have to do is we have to multiply each term in that parenthesis by that number. So that's 3x plus 3 times 4 is 12. So that's an example of the distributive property. Well, we're now going to see those in problems with equal signs, and we would just do the same thing, but we have to get rid of the parentheses first. So you see parentheses, you got to be thinking, hey, get rid of those. All right, number two says combine like terms before solving. All right, so we have to get rid of parentheses and we have to combine like terms. For example, let's say I had something like 3x plus 5 plus 6x equals 10. If we were going to solve this, before we did anything, before we tried to subtract that 5, we want to combine these two like terms and say, hey, remember I can add 3x and 6x and get 9x. I still got plus 5 is 10. So that's the other thing. You always want to do those two things first before you start trying to solve the equation for the variable. And then the last thing you want to do is make sure all variables are on one side of the equation before moving on. Okay, and at that point that's when you can then start solving the equation. So let's jump right into some examples here. Number one. Well, if I look at number one, it says solve. Okay, I want to solve the equation. That means find the value of n. But you'll notice there are parentheses here. So we have to get rid of the parentheses by multiplying this 2 by both of those terms. So if I take 2 times n, I have 2n minus 4 times 2 is 8. Now before I go on, I've asked you many times to divide your paper there. I'm going to do that now. I've still got 16 equals 16 on this side. 2n minus 8 is 16. Now what you have here is a two-step equation, right? 2n minus 8. Then you just go ahead and solve the equation like we did earlier this week by adding 8 to both sides, and I have 2n is equal to 16 plus 8, 24. Now we go ahead, and I need a little more room here. I'm going to extend down. 22n divided by 2 divided by 2, n is equal to 12. And that's the answer right there. N is equal to 12. So all we had to do was get rid of the parentheses. Let's try it with number 2. All right, I have 6 times y plus 9 equals 24, so let's divide that up. 6 times y is 6y, plus 6 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54, equals 24, just stays there by himself. Now we solve this equation. I've got plus 54, so I'm going to add negative 54. I'm going to add negative 54. That cancels out. I have 6y is equal to 24. That's 24 there. Plus negative 54 is negative 30. Divide that by 6. You get y is equal to negative 5. Easy enough. Let's try another one. This would be a place where if you want to try hitting pause and work through it yourself, do it and see if you get the same thing that I get. But I'm going to just keep talking. If you want to do that, go ahead and hit pause. I am going to divide up the paper again. Distribute the 7. 7m. 7 times 7 is 49. Over on this side I have 35. I'm going to add negative 49 to both sides. Keep that equation balanced. 35 plus negative 49, that's negative 14. That's equal to 7m divided by 7. M equals -2. Voila. Simple. Simple enough for you. Okay. I'm going to be moving into some problems that have fractions here, so I'm going to save that video for part 2. All right, let's call this one good for now, and we'll be right back with the next video.